Before we kind of get into this, you have to understand Aurini is a pathological liar and a malignant narcissist. Okay, so we're going to be watching a live stream he did. I'm just for the people who just showed up. We're going to be watching a live stream he did at the beginning of February where he got extremely drunk on stream and started to cry and talked about how Beckloff and Forney ruined his life. And he goes through the entire story of the Sarkeesian fact, which he's not legally allowed to talk about because of uh, a legal settlement with Jordan Owens. That's technically Jordan Owens could sue him for that, but I don't know what he's going to take from Aurini at this point. So I feel bad for Aurini. I'm not going to be like super funny when I'm doing this because this is just really depressing, and I'm going to be focusing more on, as I do with some of my DSP streams, how this is a note of warning, how this is what you should not do. This is how you don't deal with the internet, as it were. Before we start, I'd just like to say someone posted in the comments that apparently Space Dog died. I'm going to say this. Whatever else you think about Aurini, Aurini, there's Space Dog did nothing wrong. Space Dog seemed like a sweet old dog. So I do legitimately feel bad for him that his pet died. A pet dying um, is never a good experience. So I'm sorry about that, man. But let's just get into this. By the way, this is gonna look like shit. It's not me, it's him.
I'm gonna go get some more ice. And 0 viewers. So for you listening at home, battery died earlier than I thought it was gonna die. Alright, to replace that bulb.
This is like some found footage horror movie shit. Let me know if the audio
So
balance is okay, guys.
Sentence. I'm gonna get a couple more ice cubes.
Rain's just sitting in her bed next to me. Good kitty.
Hey, 5 viewers already. Okay, excellent. So, the phone battery died.
Like it's sad, and I don't want to do the like who has more viewers thing, but Aurini's like a name. Like he went on Sargon's channel to show the Sarkeesian effect. He got on Millennial Woes live streams a fair amount. He had, what was it, like 11 to 13,000 people. He used to get like 1,000 views on a live stream, and he's like been reduced to this. And he just sits all day in his apartment, which admittedly is somehow a lot bigger than mine. Mine was when I was still living there. But and just drinking and seething. This is like what you don't want to be. I don't know how old Aurini is, like 40 something. This is not where you want to be in your life.
So I switched to the tablet, which, as you can see, has a terrible webcam.
Oh, this is making me
And
nauseous.
we're gonna figure out something
Oh, it's so blurry.
cool to do.
It's so blurry and
Maybe
shaky.
if I
It's like one of my handheld videos.
Oh my god, I can't see the complete chat. Alright, let me just arrange things for a second.
Rain's just like, fuck this human. I'm
Not
gonna
bad.
lick my butt. It's more entertaining.
That'll do the job.
Greedy. She's probably right.
Let me refill the drink.
He just did
And this
that,
is only at
though.
26% battery, so we're not going all night. When the screen dims on this, I'm going to tell you. Wait, what happens if I hit this button? No, I don't want to mute microphone. I want to see the full chat. Are your glasses a something to Canadian Testament to Canadian Corey Hart? No, just prescription. Three years ago, I bought some glasses online from Zenio, which supposedly they offered much better prices. They offered about a $50 discount on the frames. The lenses still cost just as much, and my lenses are about $300. And so what I wanted was about a 30% tint, but they only offered 90, 50, and 10. And 10 is like, don't even bother. So I got 50% based upon the images on the website. Then these showed up. But I've adapted to them. See, a 50% tint on your lens is only a 10% reduction in light levels, because light works logarithmically. So I've spent plenty of time driving on backcountry roads with these things, and I do not have good headlights. My car is 25 years old.
But he talks all the time about how he has like a sports car, and he has like this really expensive, like, good car.
And so driving middle of nowhere, no lights, shitty high beams, I can still see no problem whatsoever with these things. I don't know, it's kind of grown on me. I like being the asshole that wears sunglasses all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to say this. Okay, in the chat, press 1 if you think he's telling the truth and that's why he wears glasses like that. Press 2 if he's full of shit. And that's not the reason. And they are literally either just sunglasses he wears or like, I don't know. So 1 if you think he was telling the truth there. 2 if that's not the truth at all. Okay, we're just gonna keep going.
So honestly, my next pair I might order 50% tint too, because, fuck it, why not? I'm so goddamn vain. I gotta be sitting properly for the camera. I just really hated ending the last stream probably halfway through a sentence like I did, right? Speed Racer, we would be drinking all night if you were here. There's a girl who's something webcams from Alberta. Need to go date her. You know what, guys? I'm going to go plug that stupid cell phone in so that I can see your comments. Just give me 1 sec. Unfortunately, my tablet is cutting off the last 10% of your message. It wasn't halfway through. God damn it. I had a really good response to that too. Whatever, I made most of it. You know what happened? Is my buddy Big L was over. And he had to borrow the charger for his e-cigarette. And there's a little electronic charger for my cell phone, like a magnet charger. And either I took off the magnet or he took off the magnet. I'm not sure whom. And I no longer have the magnet. So to charge my cell phone, I need to remove it from the dual screen case. So I can no longer charge my cell phone while I'm live streaming. And the battery has started to die. It was a fantastic battery. It was at 67% during the live stream. And we've been going for a while. So like the battery did a good job. Got 0 complaints about...
Like, you can tell this dude has no interaction with other humans most of the time, because he's telling this, like, boring as fuck story about how he lost the magnet on his cell phone charger.
The cell phone, aside from the fact that I lost the magnetic charger, and to charge it, I need to remove it from the dual screen case. You want to talk about usury? The ridiculousness that I have a cell phone that's...
Okay, for people in the chat, can you tell that, like, a breakdown is coming? Like, can you tell, like, already he's starting to become increasingly unhinged?
That girlfriend I was talking about, she saw my cell phone and said, "Holy shit, you're an early adopter now. I'm so impressed with you." I'm like, I just asked them to give me a cell phone that wasn't a piece of shit. Seder says, "Didn't you used to be a PUA in a previous life?" Not really.
Okay, here's a massive, massive press X to down. So Aurini talks about how he wasn't a PUA. Aurini very clearly was a PUA at an MRA.
Impressed with you. Seder says, "Didn't you used to be a PUA in a previous life?" Not really. And when you okay, well, two different questions. Not really. Not really. That's an interesting question from a I don't want to call you a fan. I don't like that word. It comes from fanatic. I don't think you're a fanatic. So I kind of got my start on. Now, how do I answer this?
Oh, this gets fucking crazy as time goes on.
Back when I was 21, I read something from Tucker Max, who, I mean, there's a whole story.
Who the fuck's Tucker Max? I have no idea who he is.
This is back in the days with Maddox. Good Lord, Maddox. Maddox used to link to Tucker Max. These days, Maddox is just this nasty, let's make fun of Christopher Reeves for being crippled, like an early version of exactly what's wrong with the internet. Mm-hmm. But he linked to Tucker Max. I wound up being a mod in that forum. And Tucker Max said, I forgot what he said, but it was, "Holy shit, women want to have sex too?" Like, I don't need to constantly apologize for being attracted to women. Women want to be attracted to. I was such a good boy 20 years ago. I thought I should apologize for liking breasts. Different world. And so I started to become familiar with the PUA sphere. And I mean, like, if you're a guy that hasn't read PUA, you're a liar. Every guy has.
I haven't read PUA. I'm going to be honest, like, I have not read any. I remember the first time someone, like, mentioned Roosh to me, and they like, "Oh, you gotta read Roosh, he's so based and red-pilled." It's like, you gotta read Bang Poland, and, like, he sounds like a fucking degenerate piece of shit. Why should I, do that?
Every guy, when they're 16 years old, wants to figure out how to meet women. And it's part of the job of older men to teach young men how to meet women. Us older men are supposed to teach young men how to find jobs, how to be respectable, how to dress properly. All of that. That is the job of an older man.
Aurini, you haven't done any of that.
And in the 90s, us guys were really abandoned. Oh, just do whatever you feel like. Be a nice guy. Girls like nice guys. Thanks for the advice. So anyway, when I was 21, realizing women also want to have sex, as soon as I figured that out, it's like, boom. Figured out women. So I was never a huge PUA guy, because that was the only insight I needed. I mean, there's a little bit more to that. There's a little bit, why are women being crazy? Why are they doing this, that, the other thing? I was more anti-feminism, because feminism was manufacturing a really toxic relationship status between the sexes. And I mostly supported PUA because there were a lot of guys that weren't quite as quick on the uptake as me. Like there's a lot of guys that are
Okay, can you like
decent guys. You know, they're
once again, so this is so he just said I was never Pua, and now he's going through like a 10-minute speech about how he was intimately involved in Pua.
smart, they're honest, they're what have you, and they've got no idea how to attract a woman. Well, in the, I don't know, the 2005 to 2015 period, we saw this heyday of being a shitty human being but attracting women. This was also the period that I started getting really big into psychology, and I've had a not insignificant number of women write to me to thank me because, like, I was primarily talking about shitty, toxic women, but the same stuff applies to guys. So they would write to me and say, like, thank you, you helped me make sense of my psychotic, shitty ex.
I'm going to press X to doubt on that one.
I want a good man in my life, not a manipulative piece of shit like that. So I was never a huge PUA guy. I was a how do people actually respond to things? Like if you're a nice guy, but none of the women think you, like if they all think you're a creep, then you're not. That's not very effective, right? Like develop a strategy that actually helps you win. So figure out how to be sexy, but at the same time, figure out how to avoid the psycho people. And in my observation, the left tends to lean more towards the psycho people. In fact, even in that book, Dominion, which I've been talking about all night, he talks about how the Me Too movement, like at the very, very tail end of the book, he covers 2,500 years of history. The last chapter is on the last 3 years. Okay? So, don't let this sour you on the book. Most of the book is about history. But in the last few years, we've had the Me Too movement challenging men to have better control of their sexuality, which is, you know, and Harvey Weinstein, okay, valid. Where's the other challenge for women to have control of their sexuality? Women.
Anyone remember how the Me Too movement like showed up and then it turned out that it was more Me Jew than Me Too? And like 80% of the people involved were like Jewish, and they were all liberals, and they were all like sleazy liberals who had positions of power. So, yeah.
Stop dating drug dealers. Stop dating psychopaths. Stop dating murderers. Figure out how to find the guys that are sexy but not law-breaking, right? I don't know if that answered the question or not. Let me see the comments here.
Kind of didn't, but...
So yeah, I was never really a PUA. I really started looking hard for a wife about 10 years ago.
Okay, I'm going to pay massive X to doubt on that one. I don't believe that for a second. Okay, I'll turn this up to maybe 125. We'll try this on... Oh, no, let me try 1.15 maybe. Okay, I'm giving a mat. There's no fucking way.
But even before that, I wasn't playing the field any more than I'm playing the field today.
That's a lie. That's demonstrably untrue.
I guess I'll put it like that.
No.
Okay, maybe not PUA, but I remember some podcasts where you discuss dating and debased ideas. Yeah, I mean, part of that was me trying to figure out
Didn't he cuck that guy from TRS like less than 10 years ago?
how to avoid toxic women. Because I've had a lot of abusive women in my life. I mean, Christ, I had to pay $10,000 to prove I was innocent. She used to beat the crap out of me. And I had to pay $10,000. She admitted on the stand that she beat the crap out of me. Nobody ever charged her. Welcome to the justice system. You wonder why I don't like cops. Could I please have my $10,000 back? Oh, and yeah, they never charged her.
So once again, I don't know if that's true or not. That could be true. That could not be true. I'm just gonna play that again because it's always hard to tell with Aurini.
Yeah, I mean, part of that was me trying to figure out how to avoid toxic women. Because I've had a lot of abusive women in my life. I mean, Christ, I had to pay $10,000 to prove I was innocent. She used to beat the crap out of me. And I had to pay $10,000. She admitted on the stand that she beat the crap out of me. Nobody ever charged her. Welcome to the justice system. You wonder why I don't like cops. Could I please have my $10,000 back?
I think we can see like the beginning of Aurini just completely breaking down here.
Oh, and yeah, they
He's super drunk and he's just gonna go into a depressive
never
spiral.
charged her. I don't know. I've been looking for a woman that's as devoted to me as I am to her. And the last one, oh, you said when was my last girlfriend? Last serious one was about 2 years ago, 3. We dated for about 3 years. When I realized she was not as devoted to me as I was to her, so I broke up with her, which is maybe the dumbest mistake I ever made in my life. I have no idea.
This is really depressing.
This is a bit of a step back thematically, but I was ready to ask it when the last live stream was dropped. By God's grace, we were granted sentience, but to the extent that God remains omnipotent and omniscient, we're to find solace in the faith that he saves those who come to him through Jesus. How do you see, and it's like the last bit is cut off there. How do you see the relationship between God's sovereignty and humanity's free will? Like a conductor and an orchestra. You know, I wrote in my most recent post about the Gnostic demiurge that's constantly screwing with you, right? And you can do nothing right aside from obediently slave away to it. And the thing is, if the god of this world is a demiurge, if it's this cruel consciousness that fucks with us, there's absolutely nothing you can do to make it happy, right? If it's not demiurge X, it's demiurge Y, or M, or N, or P, or L. Like, you've got no idea. Whereas the great Christian revelation was that the God of this world, if there is a God, and I mean, there needs to be, if there is a God, it's a God that doesn't fuck with us. And, you know, you go back to St. Paul, the circumcision is in your heart. The law of God is written in your heart. It's not a cult. secret. It's not hidden. It's not you worship the wrong god, you go to hell. That seems like bullshit to me. Peterson talks a lot about this. Like nobody gets away with anything. Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment. You don't get away with anything. And the evil that you do haunts you throughout your life. So, do no evil. If there's an afterlife, if there's higher levels of consciousness than we have, then mustn't that higher level also have higher levels of justice?
Once again, like, this is painful to watch. Like, this dude at least gives the impression that he's completely, like, broken. He's on the verge of tears. But once again, this is Aurini. So, like, he could, like, I don't know if this is a pity party, if he's trying to get sympathy. Like, it's hard to tell.
And what sort of father would create children to constantly punish them for not being as good as him? I had the opportunity the other night to play chess with a young man. And then the first time we played chess, I beat him too hard. And he got discouraged. And I thought a lot about this. Now, on the one hand, I don't want to throw the game to him, because that's bullshit. That's sunshine up his ass, right? On the other hand, I don't have any fun beating him like this. That's not why I'm playing chess with him. So I said, okay, what we're going to do this time, if you make a stupid move, I'm going to tell you it's a stupid move, and you're going to take that back. And so he and I, we actually had like a 3-hour chess game, something like that. And I kept saying, okay, are you sure about this move? Look at this, look at that, look at that. So it's, because I want you to get better at playing chess. Now, Peterson pointed out that, I forgot who discovered this initially, that when the big rat plays with the little rat, the big rat needs to lose 1/3 of the time for the little rat to keep coming back, right? Mammals have a play circuit in our head. And if you, this is why it's not about whether you win or lose, it's about how you play the game. Because you want to play multiple games over time. I was thinking about this. I want to keep playing chess with this kid. He's a good kid. I like him. But I don't want to play bullshit chess with him. So how can I play chess with him? And A, be honest, and B, have fun. And I think I found that with, it's like, no, you don't want to do this move. And explaining why, and getting him to see it, and that's mentorship, man. That's fun. That's fun. And actually, that's actually, in a funny way, that's more fun than playing chess. That's way more fun than playing chess against an anonymous stranger. Whether I win or lose.
Wait, but it wasn't an anonymous stranger. It was like some guy. It sounded like he knew who the guy was, and now it's just an anonymous stranger.
The engagement is the fun. So if I have that sort of engagement with a young man that I don't know him from Adam.
I thought he did know the guy. He was talking about how he was mentoring him.
If I have that sort of engagement with a young man, how could God be any different? Thank you, Speed Racer. I won't. Not going to quote that. I will tell you that I'm still processing all of that. That whole situation has been a major challenge to my faith.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so somebody asked him about Beckloff and 40. So here he's going to say that they ruined his life. Keep in mind, this whole thing happened like 3 years ago.
That whole situation has been a major challenge to my faith. Those guys hurt me a lot. I'm clearly not very good at the whole social media cool kid popularity contest sort of thing. That situation hurt me very deeply. And I'll tell you the good thing that's come out of it is that I've learned a lot about the people that actually do care about me as a friend. The people that, oh goodness. It's like 5 years ago, I was this archetypal version of, not myself, but like I was this straw man. I don't even know how I became that straw man. I never claimed to be any of these things. I never bragged. And yet somehow I became this narcissistic version of myself, this idolatrous version of myself, and I never wanted to be that. And those two guys were part of that. And these days, I don't know, it's weird. Like in the one sense, I'm more humble. I'm not pretending to be anything that I'm not because the audience expects me to be that thing and demands I be that thing and would turn on me at the drop of a hat if I stopped being that thing. And at the same time, I've also become a lot more, what's the word?
Jaded?
I can't remember. Like, if you don't like what I am, if you don't like me, then fuck off. No, I'm not the second coming of Christ. I'm not the second coming of Arthur.
Does he mean like Arthur, King Arthur, or like Arthur Reed from like the children's cartoon show?
I'm me. If I've done you harm, tell me, and I'll do what I can to restitute you. But you don't get to define me as some sort of hero in your head and then tear me down for failing to be that version of me that you thought I was. Forgiving those two was probably the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I mean, those guys really, really hurt me. And yet, what would the point of vengeance be upon them? Like what? Where does that get me? Where's the profit in that? And the benefit, I guess, was realizing that this whole damned public persona that got built up over the past 10 years, what use is that? I mean, like, obviously it's of some use. Like, you don't want to walk down the street and spill your spaghetti all over the place while people are filming video, right? Obviously there's some use to that. But you can get trapped into this identity that other people build up for you. I guess that's what I'm saying. And so while what those guys did felt like just the most massive betrayal, it did kind of force me to abandon the external narcissistic internet identity and be who I actually am. I don't know if that made any sense whatsoever, but
Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to break down here. So this was kind of the first part of why this is a warning thing. Okay, so he had a falling out with Beckloff and Forney. I don't really want to go into the deep lore. It's a really long, boring story. But they basically just fell out, and Beckloff and him and Forney and eventually me started making fun of Aurini because he joined a pagan cult called the Free Folk, who were super cringe. So, I mean, there's two ways to deal with a friendship ending and someone making fun of you. You can just like ignore them. Just go, fuck Beckloff, he was a douche. Fuck Forney, he was a douche. Fuck Argent, he's a douche. I'm just not going to watch any of their stuff. I'm just going to ignore them and pretend they're not there. But he obviously didn't do that, because this is from like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, it's pretty obvious from this, he's watched every single time Beckloff does a stream about him, every single time Forney does a stream about him. Every single video I put up on this channel with a Smarky title, you can tell he just goes there and he watches it and he just seethes. And he spends all day doing this. And that's like, that's what he's doing. And he could have just not done that, and he's still doing that. The fact that this 3 years later is still leading him to have like drunken live streams, basically breaking down and crying, I think shows the fact that he just obsesses over this all day, every day. And that's just not how people should deal with this kind of thing. Like, he made this decision. And once again, if you're going to be an online content creator and make stuff that like is public, like, people can say I'm a dick for running this channel, and he's claimed that this channel is slander. When you look at it, like, this is literally just his live stream. Like, if it's slander for me to post an unedited live stream he made, I think that's more on him than it's on me. I mean, like, how is this slander? And the clips I put up here, like, once again, they're like unedited clips that I put snarky titles on. I mean, if Aurini doesn't want people to comment on the stuff he does, he just shouldn't do it publicly. but he never learns because like he's quit the internet so many times, and every time he quits the internet, he comes back and he does the exact same thing again, and he does like cringy videos, and like it's, if you're going to be if you're going to be on the internet and you're going to like then people are going to commentate on you and people are going to make fun of you. I mean, he made a whole movie going after Anita Sarkeesian, but he just, I don't, he just watches it and seethes. Like, if it's like Ralph, it's like how Ralph has a Kiwi Farms thread and he tells Gator to like go and write him like minute to minute notes about it. Like, if I ever got a Kiwi Farm thread, I would never go and look at it. And I would like tell people not to tell me about it. I don't want to know. If someone's doing a parody channel of me, I don't want to know, and I just wouldn't talk about it. So
Who was that female friend you had on the stream a while back? It might have been Hey Thrun, who part of the reason I'm really angry at those guys is that they attacked her. Hey Thrun's far from perfect, but she's a person. She's a person, and oftentimes she's an asshole. But she suffered a lot. Her and I haven't spoken much in the past year, but I've got a real soft spot for her. She pisses me the fuck off at times, but I've got a real soft spot for her. And to hear those guys ridiculing her for her physical appearance,
for being like a witch who cast curses on people and received visions from Wotan in a dream.
Yeah, who the fuck are they to ridicule anybody for physical appearance, quite frankly, but yeah, that made me angry. Is she a candidate? I'm not sure what that means.
I guess to be his wife?
I wouldn't even think about those two zeros. No, well, thank you. I'll tell you, a lot of the thinking I've done is about why was I attracted, like, why did I even care about them in the first place? To cut a really long story short.
Once again, there's also the aspect of this where, like, Aurini takes no response. Like, he doesn't think anything that he did contributed to, like, any of this. That none of his behavior, none of the stuff he's done in the past, none of this contributed to people making fun of him. I mean, when I look back at the friendships I ruined in the past, and I have ruined them, some of it was on them. A lot of it was also on me, because I was arrogant, or because I was a dick, or because I wasn't medicated, I hadn't received therapy. I had a kind of that very depressively entitled attitude, if that makes sense. But a lot of those, it was on me. As much as it was on them. And looking back on it, I can see like why that was the case. And the fact that Aurini can't look back on any of the things that have happened to him in his life with any kind of critical eye, I think says something.
Yeah, did you read that post I said where basically I quit? I quit the internet. And yeah, I'm clearly not quit.
like once again, he didn't have to watch Beckloff's live streams making fun of him. He didn't have to watch them and seethe. Like I don't go and watch cringy like Tumblr stuff all day every day because I don't want to blow my brains out.
I know this is bad radio. I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to figure out what to say. I'm done with the whole e-celeb thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the e-celeb where I just think I had some sort of duty to be an example or to make the world a better place or like that horseshit. And by the way, like, listen, if you're the what's that Jeopardy guy that just died recently?
Oh, it's Trebek.
Like, if your job is to be the friendly, fun guy that is on TV Jeopardy every night, there are several channels I follow. Oh, I gotta link this soon. I can't remember his name. He's an ex-Marine Corps guy that just tells scary stories. And
he's so bitter. It's like, and I was like this for a very long period of time. And it really wasn't until I like got medication, started going through therapy, that I started to get past this at least somewhat. But like the point of forgiving someone isn't to say that they didn't do anything wrong or they don't deserve justice. The reason that you forgive someone is because resentment just festers within you and you wind up like this. If all you feel is resentment and hate and just seethe and you just can't let things go, this is where it takes you. Drinking alone, crying on live stream. And it's sad. And like, I don't know. I'm sure people think, because I'm trying to make this like add a little bit of humor in, because otherwise, like, I think everyone would slit their wrists. But like, I'm going to be honest, this is more than anything else an expression about, like, it's about, this is how you don't live your life. This is how you don't interact with people. This is how, like, this is a letter of warning. When the internet gets too real, when you get too deeply involved with it. Also, like, maybe Beckloff and Forney weren't the best friends to pick. I don't know. Aurini might just be a really bad judge of character. I'm not shitting on Beckloff or anything. I'm just saying, like, maybe their two personalities are just inherently different. Beckloff is the way that he is. He has a very specific personality, which I'm sure a lot of people find abrasive. And he tends to be the person who just kind of takes the piss out of people and makes fun of them. And if you're someone who can't, like, really take that, there's nothing really wrong with being someone who doesn't want to get into those kind of arguments. They're probably just not the kind of people you should be around. And, I mean, Matt Forney has never been anything but nice to me and polite to me, but he has a long history too. And I find it hard to believe that there weren't warning signs in the past.
He's funny. He's got a kid. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. And he likes doing these scary, creepy stories. His job is to be that fun, friendly guy that tells horror stories at night.
I'm going to be honest. If Aurini had a YouTube channel where he read, like, scary Reddit stories, I would probably watch it.
And he does a damn good job. If your job is being the Jeopardy guy That you're the friendly, familiar face that it's just fun to be around. God bless you. God bless you. But there's such a fine line between that and the bucket of crabs where everybody is tearing everybody down all the time. There's a fine line between saying that we should be...
And this is the other thing with DSP too. Like, if DSP just didn't watch the detractor videos and just focused on his show, and Ralph is like this too. And I think just about, like, everybody who goes fucking nuts on the internet is what happens is they see and they watch all this shit of people who fuck with him.
Better. And tearing down everybody that's not meeting your standard. There's a fine fucking line between those, aren't there? And I'm not interested in that rat race anymore. That rat race to be better than everybody else, to manipulate, to stab in the back, to like that. Not interested in that. I just... If you told me I could make $1 million a year...
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I know this is somewhat inappropriate, but after the scary story thing, I just have to play this clip.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me, and when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. When the fear is gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. That is, of course, a quote from the novel Dune by Frank Herbert.
Oh, $1 million. 50,000. Having sarcastic opinions about everything. Being Ben Shapiro. Fuck off. I'm so goddamn sick of that. I'm so sick of the whole culture of image. If you offered me $50,000 a year, I'd say no. If you offered me $1 million a year, I'd do it for about 3 months before I quit. I would try and swallow the poison for about 3 months. Then I'd get myself fired. Could you give a Cliff Notes version of why I quit? The Cliff Notes version is that when I try and produce on a schedule, it neuters everything. When I try and produce, when I feel obligated to produce.
I'm just going to let this run. I'll be back in a second, guys.
I wind up doing live streams when I'm not... hey, how's it going? I'm always performing. And I don't want to perform for you guys. I don't want to half-ass it. I want to do good work. And sometimes that means that I've got nothing to say for 2 weeks. Hell, maybe a month. Maybe 6 months, who the fuck knows, right? You know, 2 years ago. 2 years? No, 3 years? Whatever. I was making $1,000 a month doing the internet thing. Then I got kicked from YouTube because of those old friends of mine. And my $1,000 a month went down to about 200. So all of a sudden, something that like I'd invested 10 years of my life in went from barely paying rent to not even close to paying rent. And yet I'm a creator. Like I can't stop doing this. I can't stop creating. But I was asking myself, what the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing? So the whole why I quit
Okay, I'm back.
is I'm not an AM radio host. AM radio host, they talk about the politics, they talk about the news, they come up with something.
Sorry, guys, did I miss the part where Aurini claims that Beckloff and Forney nuked his YouTube channel? Because he's claimed that I've done. He's claimed in the past that I was involved in nuking his YouTube channel, which actually kind of pisses me off. But whatever.
To say every week. If I was getting $3,000 a month, I wouldn't mind doing that. Decent, honest living, right? But I'm not going to fight. Oh my god, after that movie blew up in my face, after my friends turned on me, after I got kicked off of YouTube, I'm like, no, I'm done trying to fight this losing battle. I'm not going to try and pretend that I'm an AM radio host. Ergo, I quit. You guys owe me nothing. I make no promise I will ever do anything ever again. If you guys give me $1 on Patreon, that's your own folly. But I'm probably going to keep doing stuff, but no promises. And since I quit, I think I'm making better content.
I'm gonna have to say no to that one.
I actually think I'm doing more for you guys now that I've quit than back when I was beholden and promising you 2 live streams a week. I mean, like tonight, I'm bullshitting because I've got something to say. I'm not, holy shit, it's Thursday, I promised a live stream, what the fuck am I going to talk about? I've actually got something to say. So I think I'm doing better work now. Sum it all up. I will be an AM radio host for $3,000 a month. But being an AM radio host for $100 a month, not worth my time. It's better to quit. And if you guys really enjoy my content, then toss me $1 a month. I do like making, I was actually seriously considering just canceling the Patreon entirely. But, you know, my friend Big L said, just don't force people to stop giving you money. Which that is not bad advice. All right, let me go to the washroom. I'll be right back.
Okay, guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how depressing is this? This is really, like, dark, depressing, sad. I don't even really know what to say about this. It's just, ugh. What a sad man. Like, I honestly, when I was watching this to clip it, I found this legitimately uncomfortable and difficult to watch. Like, this is really sad and really depressing. but I don't know.
All right, we are back. Actually, kind of glad it broke down. Kind of the perfect time to switch from a focused stream with things to say to you guys asking me questions.
Oh no, here it comes.
Hopefully some of you are still here. They contributed to the conversation and were impish, something pedestrian, obnoxious, juvenile, nitwits. I can barely listen to them. They had nothing to offer. You were the only reason to listen. Should have started your own show and told them to... Maybe. Those were guys I was friends with for a long, long time. And I'll tell you, one of my values is people that don't fuck over their friends. I don't know, maybe this is unhealthy, maybe this is psychotic, but if you've been a friend to me, I will stick by you through thick or
Yeah, it's psychotic to think that. Yeah,
thin.
I don't think that.
That's actually one of my really fundamental values. Mm-hmm. And that hey Thrun, that they all decide to attack. We're not exactly close right now. I kind of got angry at her last time we spoke. Right? Like, I mean, we've got our things we disagree with, but she's been a really good friend to me. And I hope I've been a really good friend to her. And that's one of the things I've spent a lot of time thinking about.
I admit, I can't tell if he's being sincere, if he's if there's a lot of this is an act to try to get sympathy points, if it's some kind of mix of the two, because part of being a narcissist is that you believe your own bubble, so I find it really hard.
But how I devoted this friendship to them, that they never reciprocated. And the same damn thing goes for Jordan Owen in that fucking movie. Christ. You speculate, you put everything. You take your whole adult life and you gamble it on one thing. And your business partner blows it up just to hurt you. That's a hell of a thing. Which, speaking of, by the way, my friend has been reading a lot of Machiavelli. And, I'm going to go over the computer and read this to you. You might need to turn up the volume to hear it. This is the exact quote from The Prince.
Okay, Metaphysic, we're getting to the good part in a little bit. Where he goes
I consider
through
the following to be true.
the whole thing.
But it is better to be impetuous than cautious, because fortune is a woman, and it's necessary to beat her and maul her when you want to keep her under your control. It is noticeable that she allows herself to be won over more by these types of men. Did you catch that? Fortune is a woman. She likes dominant men. Don't give in to bitterness. Be impetuous and stupid. Grow wiser, hopefully. Oh my god, Speed Racer, what movie are you talking about? Back back in 2014, I was running a film studio here in Calgary. And yes, he was. Machiavelli, solid guy, good guy. Read Machiavelli. Anyway, 2014, I was running a film studio here in Calgary. And this was the early days of YouTube, before everyone was getting banned. And I'd been introduced to this libertarian who had gone to Berkeley for music. And I hired him to do the soundtrack for a short film I was working on. And then he contacted me after the short film was done and said, hey, I've been thinking about doing a documentary about Anita Sarkeesian. Anita Sarkeesian she was a low-rent film critic complaining about how every single movie was sexist and racist and all that other SJW crap. And he said, I've been thinking about doing a film and crowdsourcing it, that was new back in 2004. Patreon, FundMe, all that stuff was new. And I'd actually been looking at all of this. I'd been looking at FundMe and Patreon and whatnot. And for months, I've been thinking, is there a way I could make money doing this? Honestly. Right? I mean, like, there's plenty of dishonest ways to do it. But I don't want to, hey, give me money. I'm on the internet. Didn't want to eBay. So I've been thinking about this for months. And then Owen, after I'd worked with him on my own film project, said, what do you think about doing a documentary about her? I'm like, that might have legs. Like, A, that's legitimate, right? Like, people get a product at the end. So nobody can say we were scamming them. Like, we're not being scam artists. We're not mooching money. It's not, give me $1 million to go to Ottawa or some crap like that. It's like, no, we're actually going to work for this. We're going to make a movie. And then, like a bolt out of heaven, we were planning to release I forget the exact date, but we were planning to release our proposal, our Kickstarter. We're planning to release it at the end of September. And then like 3 days before we were about to release it, like we'd been plotting this for months, the Zoe Quinn thing happens. Zoe Quinn, Five Guys. I'm like, shit, strike while the iron is hot. So we've been planning this for months. And we launched the Kickstarter, and we get a whole bunch of positive attention. And we get money. Holy shit, we got money. Oh my god, money. Fucking amazing. So we actually pulled the whole damn thing off. We agreed at the beginning that, so we were going to do a monthly thing with it. And we were going to keep doing the monthly thing until the film was done. And then our ultimate goal was to sell the film to Netflix or something like that, which Netflix back in 2015 was brand new. And what was it, like, one of the guys I was working with is like second in command to Larry Flint. So we had connections. And so we were basically trying to interview as many people as we could about the nature of Anita Sarkeesian, the nature of feminism, the nature of this whole Gamergate thing. So like we were planning this thing before Gamergate, then Gamergate happened like 3 days before our launch date. And so holy shit, this crazy idea was actually working. Let me see. Let me read these comments. Image is anything. Respect is everything. That's Grand Theft Auto 2. Luck be a lady tonight. Machiavelli was based. Never trust a libertarian, especially from Berkeley. Oh, God. Yeah. Who is Zoe Quinn? Oh, no, it was not sponsored by Hustler. Hustler gave us no money. I'm trying to say that we actually... Listen, I lived in Vegas for a while. And we actually did have some pretty... We had good contacts.
Okay, this seems like a good time to just pause for a sec. Okay, so there's a lot of shit to break down there. So apparently someone in the chat saying that that's not true and he knew Jordan Owen from before. So Aurini's claiming that he had a, and I quote, movie production company in Calgary, which of course he made Less Than the Time of Heartache, which is also available on this channel. You just type in Less Than the Time of Heartache, and that came up. So Jordan Owen did the music for Less Than the Time of Heartache, and that's how they met. And then they just decided they were going to do a documentary together. They were not going to do it prior to Gamergate, apparently. They were going to do it prior to Gamergate. Gamergate had nothing to do with their decision to make a highly topical documentary about Anita Sarkeesian, before Gamergate. I don't think anyone was going to... Really? Netflix was going to pick this thing up? I don't know, the story just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Anyway, we spent a bunch of time filming this movie. And then comes the giant disagreement. Jordan Owen decides he hates me. And our backers have given us thousands of dollars. I don't know how much. I did not...
That's what happened. Jordan Owen just decided he hated me. There's nothing more to it than that. Jordan Owen just woke up one day and said, Aurini, I hate you. I'm going to destroy this movie just to hurt you.
Control the finances of this movie. They've given us thousands of dollars. We've been traveling all over the United States interviewing people. And by the way, guys, traveling all over the United States, I was sleeping in hunting cabins. I was sleeping in my car. I lived with a girlfriend for about 6 months. I gave up my apartment. We each got $1,500 a month to live off of while we filmed this movie. And Owen was the producer because he had no experience making movies. I'd been running a film studio while I was in Calgary. And so I was the director. After about 3 to 6 months into this project, Owen gets really angry at me and decides to detonate the project, which I respond to by publishing our Skype conversation, and everybody turns against Owen. And so Owen and we reunite, and we make friends again, and we hug, and we keep making the fucking movie. And then we are almost done making the movie. And at the 11th fucking hour, Owen shuts off the finances to me. Well, I'm in a foreign country with no source of income, nothing but a car, and Thunderfoot jumps on board and calls me a piece of shit. So this movie that I'd given a good year of my life to, Oh, it was super awesome making the movie, man. I felt like Jordan and I were. I felt like we were the characters from Blues Brothers. We are on a mission from God, driving across the country to expose the corruption.
Oh, guys, no, he talks about Sargon in a minute. The Sargon thing, like what he talks about, is going to be fucking amazing.
Of the radical left.
You're not going to believe it.
And Jordan and I might not be in agreement on everything, but we can both agree that we should talk the truth. See, is Jordan Owen relay something Benjamin? Not sure. I can't read that. Oh man, it was so cool. We met so many cool people. We had really good footage. Dude, I met the guy that built, oh shit, what's it called?
I think he's referring to McAfee here. Antivirus.
I had it on my computer. My computer couldn't even run it at the time, but I had it on my computer. I was dreaming about that the other night. I was dreaming about meeting that guy and saying, wait, you're the guy that built that? That was the coolest fucking thing. That was so cool. I loved that thing. Windows blinds? No, it's something else. So anyway, at the 11th hour, we had all the footage. It was all about editing together a good movie. like slapping all these interviews together in a way that was A, honest, so we didn't misrepresent anybody. We didn't soundbite anybody. But B, coherent, that everything came together into a package, right? So like you, beginning, middle, end. Every documentary it's exactly the same as Star Wars. Beginning, middle, end. Go watch Pink Ribbons Incorporated is absolutely perfect. Perfect documentary. And if you watch it and if you write down where the breaks in the story are, you get a beginning, middle, end. They are perfectly situated. And I was completely ripping off that style of documentary. But Jordan Owen was extremely angry at me because I told him that a girl that had been cock teasing him for 5 years would never have sex with him.
Okay, if someone knows, like, is this actually true? Is that really the reason why Jordan Owen turned on him? Because he told him that a girl who was cock teasing him wouldn't have sex with it? Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like the truth to me. I could be wrong, but that just doesn't sound like the truth to me.
And she was abusive, and he should find a girl that appreciated him. And man, don't ever tell Jordan Owen that you know more about women than he knows. You tell Jordan Owen that you're better than him, he will hate you for the rest of reality. So because he was the producer, and he had control of the budget, he stopped sending me the money. And now we had a intermediary because the first time he blew up the project.
Oh my god. Okay, guys. You have no idea. This is like a legitimate mic drop moment coming up. The first time I heard him say this, I literally could not believe. Like, this is fucking insane what you're about to hear.
We had a
like,
and now we had a intermediary because the first time he blew up the project and I threatened to publish what he had done publicly, he retreated and said, okay, we'll have an intermediary. So I contacted this intermediary to say, Jordan Owen is trying to starve me by not giving me the money that he's receiving, that I need to edit this movie. Jordan Owen wouldn't even give me the email of our graphic artist because he wanted to control everything. So, I contacted Sargon of Akkad. I said, hey, Sargon, you know, this whole Gamergate thing that we're both involved with, a lot of people have sent us money for the Sarkeesian effect. And we've hit the editing stage right now. We're not traveling around the country and taking selfies, and people are asking, hey, what are you up to? So I said, Sargon, I got a favor to ask of you. And he said, sure, what's up? I said, I can't release a film that's 30% done. That undermines the film. I'm asking you, Sargon, if I could send you the film that's 30% done, and could you give your honest impression? Are we earning our keep? Are we working? If you think it's a crappy film, then go right ahead. Not asking for bullshit. But Sargon, if you think that if you look at what I'm working on and you like it, could you tell people that Davis and Jordan, they're working, I like what I see, etc., right? And Sargon says, absolutely, Aurini, you're the guy that got me started on YouTube. Listen to him.
Okay. So I want people to vote in the chat as to whether or not that happened. Okay. If you think that Sargon of Akkad said to Aurini that Aurini was the one who got him started on YouTube, press 1. If you think that that was not the case and he made that up, press 2. So Sargon literally said to Aurini from this story that he's the one who got him started on YouTube. Let's listen to that again.
But Sargon, if you think that if you look at what I'm working on and you like it, could you tell people that Davis and Jordan, they're working, I like what I see, etc., right? And Sargon says, absolutely, Aurini, you're the guy that got me started on YouTube. Listen to him. He posts a video. And he's like, wow, this Sarkeesian effect looks really, really good. It's developing, but it looks good. Well, Jordan sees this, and Jordan flips out. And so Jordan gets Thunderfoot to take a giant shit all over me, accusing me of being a white nationalist.
Wasn't Thunderfoot a massive piece of shit? Like, I don't know. Like, who knows who to believe in case of this? Thunderfoot, I think wasn't he like the father of like shitty like YouTube atheism? So I don't know. Whatever my feelings on Aurini, Thunderfoot's worse.
And then Sargon of Akkad takes down his video saying the movie looked good and put up a new video calling me a scam artist because he wanted to suck up the Thunderfoot. And 2 months later, Jordan releases a movie which is unwatchable.
Yeah,
absolutely unwatchable.
It's really bad.
4 months after that, Jordan uses the Sarkeesian Effect Patreon to start giving himself money. And after the first month, a whole bunch of people quit, saying, I signed up for Sarkeesian Effect, not for Jordan Owens' bullshit videos. And then in the February of the next year, I released the entire movie. And it's not perfect. I've got zero budget. I'm not good at audio mixing. But I released the film for free on YouTube. Jordan's version you had to pay for. But by that point, old news.
I have both of them on this channel, by the way. Both the Aurini and the Jordan Owen version are both free to watch on this channel.
So that's the story of the film. Is there an unreleased cut of my version? Here's the thing, I'm not allowed to call it the Sarkeesian effect anymore. That was part of the, I still owe the lawyer money. Jordan Owen sent me a lawyer after cutting me out of the finances. Sent a lawyer. I still owe a couple $1,000s to that lawyer. My version is available for free. It's called Immersed in Subversion. The audio mixing is not very good. I had no graphic design artists. I probably could have done better. But at some point, I spent 6 months making zero money off this damn film that I gave up my house, gave up my car, gave up everything for this damn movie.
See, I don't know, because he sounds sincere here, but I don't know if that's the truth. Like, did he actually give up his house and his car to make the Sarkeesian effect? Was it actually that bad? Like, because I don't know. I honestly just don't know anymore. Like, who to believe, like, how much of this is real, how much of this is bullshit. I don't know.
Immersed in Subversion, despite all its flaws, is an absolutely superior version of that thing that Jordan released. Oh, God, man. That's why he ruined it. Because I implied that I knew more about women than he did. And the moment I did that, he swore mortal vengeance upon me. We were talking about Vox Day.
I mean, let's be honest. If you put the two fuckwads together that are like Aurini and Jordan Owen, it's probably a recipe for disaster. That is not the dynamic duo. Those are not two people who should be making a movie together.
Earlier, look up Vox Day writing about the gamma male and how psychotically evil gammas are.
It's funny because Aurini is like a textbook definition of a gamma male. He's like the ultimate example of a gamma male.
Oh, God, I was just... You're saying blackmail isn't really the best way. I was just trying to hold this damn thing together. Like, Jordan, people have given us so much money just to make this fucking movie. Could we just please make this movie? Like, we never have to talk to each other again. Jordan got really angry at me because he wanted to make this whole series about porn stars and how inspiring they are, and I was like, listen, I've got nothing against porn stars, man. Actually, I've got a bit of respect for them, but I don't really want to glamorize pornography. And this guy was a complete porn addict. Good Lord, the intermediary that we got. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that for now.
Okay, here we go, guys. Here's a legitimate mic drop moment that's coming up.
Name's Ari. He works very, very closely with Hustler magazine. Makes a lot more money than I do. I helped edit a porn scene of his wife, who the first thing Jordan said when he met the woman was, "I've masturbated to you so many times."
Yeah, he just said that. That raises so many questions. I don't even know really where to start. Like, let's just watch that again because I couldn't believe that the first time I heard
No,
that.
I do. I helped edit a porn scene of his wife. The intermediary that we got. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that for now. Name's Ari. He works very, very closely with Hustler magazine. Makes a lot more money than I do. I helped edit a porn scene of his wife. Who the first thing Jordan said when he met the woman was, "I've masturbated to you so many times."
That raises so many questions. So was Aurini editing porn for what? How did Aurini get involved in it? Like he just mentions that like as if that's like a normal thing to have happen. Like what the fuck is like I don't even know what to say. Let's just go on. Like
What a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Like, idiot. Idiot. We could make so much money, and we could both accomplish our goals. Just stop being a cunt. Nah, he was more interested in being a cunt. So, I mean, like, there's an interesting lesson here that Anita Sarkeesian, you gotta grant that her and her ex-boyfriend managed to keep things civil. Like, they broke up. Her ex-boyfriend...
You know, it could be a lie, but it's so weird. It's such a bizarre thing to say. I'm actually going to say I believe Aurini on that one, because it's such a weird thing to make up that I actually think that happened. I'm going to, like, not press X to that on that one. I'm going to press, I guess, Y to believe.
Boyfriend was the brains behind the Sarkeesian effect. And they broke up. But they managed to have more decorum and more civility in their breakup than me and Jordan Owen, and we were not sleeping together. So, fuck, maybe the left deserves to win. Speeders says if you have one flaw, it's a... I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, too trusting. I see the good in people.
Yep, that is Aurini's takeaway from that whole event is that he's too trusting. That's his takeaway. Like
Speeders says if you have one flaw, it's a... I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, too trusting. I see the good in people. That's something I've been working on a lot. My New Year's resolution was that I'm not putting up with shit from people anymore. I'm really done with people who call themselves my friend.
that's what Aurini has to work on. Not giving up drinking, like not doing depressive alcoholic streams like this, not getting a job, not like his New Year's resolution is to stop trusting people. I remember I used to do stuff like that when I was younger before I got like psychological care. Like that's a really fucked thing to say. Like that just shows how twisted this dude's like worldview is. That was his takeaway. And that he believes that he's too trusting. Like, what the fuck is that?
treating me like shit. He was a simp. Yeah, he was. He was. Still is. What really angers me is he betrayed the people giving us money. And I don't even know who these people are.
Yep, it's all about them, Aurini. It's not about you. It's about the innocent bystanders who were harmed by Jordan Owen. Now, I don't know, like, and I don't actually really care that much about who was responsible. I think they were probably both fuckwads, and this whole thing was, like, doomed to failure. Because A, it was a bad idea to begin with. B, they went about it in a shitty way. And C, they got, like, two people who never should have worked together to do it. Like, they needed one of them to be someone who's good at organizing things. Because Aurini's, like, not bad as an actor. He's not bad at, like, obviously reading things and stuff like that. But he can't organize shit. And Jordan obviously can't organize shit either. And neither of them can manage money. Like, I don't know. I don't know how he thought it was a good idea, to be honest.
I never got a chance to see. Like, he, of course, he. I mean, the guy's basically a borderline. He controlled all the information. I never knew who any of our donors were.
Aurini, like, you really shouldn't be calling other people a borderline, buddy.
All of those people that gave us money, those are the people that really got fucked over. Those people, the whole goal of the film was not to make a film that said Anita Sarkeesian is bullshit. Like, we all know she's bullshit. Everybody on YouTube knows she's bullshit. The goal was to construct a film that we could put on Netflix that our parents would watch. This was 5 years ago. The goal was to red pill our parents, to red pill the normies, to discredit this whole video games are misogynistic, video games are for losers, video games are whatever shit. To make a watchable, entertaining film, documentary, that people would watch on Netflix. And I swear to God, we could have got it on Netflix back then. And shit, if we'd done that, we'd both be millionaires. If Jordan could have kept his animosity in his pants for 6 months, he and I both would be like famous movie producers these days.
Do you see just like the level of narcissistic delusion here? Like that wouldn't have happened. Like, even best case scenario, they actually got the like documentary made. There's no fucking way any of that would have happened. Like, the level of just delusion here and self-importance and like his power fantasy, that it's, yeah.
And the whole Gamergate thing would have been a lot more mainstream than it was. Now, maybe those ambitions, maybe I'm wrong about those ambitions. Maybe I was aiming too high, but I never even got to take a shot because Jordan Owen blew that whole damn thing up for the sake of spite. And then he sent a lawyer after me. What a piece of shit. And Sargon of Akkad, that piece of shit, is party to the whole thing as well. Fuck that guy. Sargon of Akkad has a bidding price. You bid high enough, he will pay the price.
Yeah, that's true.
Back in the
Sargon
day,
is a snake.
Thunderfoot was a very popular YouTuber before he got completely discredited for making an ass of himself. And so Sargon of Akkad made himself a hypocrite to suck up to Thunderfoot because Thunderfoot came against me because him and Jordan are both sexual losers. All right, let me top off this ice, then I'll come back.
Like, I don't want to be a dick here. I mean, it took, I guess, some sort of vision. It took some effort. I guess, like, I have to admire them for at least trying to make a movie and at least aiming, um, like, high and trying to, like, do something creative and trying to make a project. Like, because I feel almost like a dick for just saying it was, like, a bad idea and it was never going to work. But the level of delusion here, and he's just been seething about this for the last, like, 7 years. And he does legitimately believe that if only Jordan had been nice to him, um, I lost my train of thought there. Um, like, he's just been seething about this. He's been seething about this for like over a decade, and this isn't healthy. This isn't healthy. It's not good for him. Look, he's a fucking mess. And did Jordan fuck him? Probably. Jordan probably fucked him. Beckloff was probably a dick to him. I was a dick. Well, I guess you could say I was a dick to him. Sure. We'll say I was a dick to him. But he didn't have to do this, like I said. He didn't have to seethe. He didn't have to do like 10 years of just misery, just constantly every day thinking about how Jordan fucked him, how he would have been rich, he would have been the next PewDiePie, he would have been the next Sargon of Akkad, if only Jordan Owen hadn't have fucked him. Ray's just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna lie on your lap.
Alright, let me top off the drink.
Her. Who's a good kitty? Who's a good girl?
You know, let me get my phone so I can actually see these comments in full.
Has anyone's like X key broken by this point? Because there's a lot of doubting going on.
He made another. Yeah, he made his version of the movie, which is completely unwatchable.
It's pretty shit.
And you have to pay money to see.
No,
I released mine on YouTube.
No, you don't. It's on my channel for free. No, Jordan Owen released it for free on, I think, Vimeo or something. And I, like, downloaded it and re-uploaded it to this channel. So that's not true.
I don't know if it's still up. It's...
Oh, it's still up, all right.
The audio mixing is not as good as it should be. I'm not good at audio mixing. Like, my ears aren't that good, man. That's why I wanted to team with a musician, because I hoped his audio mixing was better than mine. But it is a complete film. Okay, there we go. Now it's gonna make noise. God, it should have been better. It really should have been better.
Rain's just sitting up.
But eventually hit the point. I've been working on this movie, making zero money because he controlled the wallet. And after 6 months, I'm like, okay, shit or get off the pot. It's good enough. It's a movie. Release it. Move on with your life. Oh, less than the time of Heartache? That's when I hired him to do the music. That's before that. Dust yourself off, brother. Make the art that needs to be made. Talented filmmaker. Can't be held back by capricious producer forever. Exactly. Oh, God. Attention. Your battery's empty. Let me plug this in.
Rain is like sitting on my arm at the moment while I'm trying to move the mouse. So I'm kind of having trouble. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so here on my channel I have the Sarkeesian effect, Jordan Owen cut, and Davis Aurini cut. The Aurini cut is much better by virtue of being shorter. I want to show you guys, this is the trailer that they made for the Sarkeesian effect. This is the pitch video. So we're going to end off on this cringe.
Hey everybody, Jordan Owen 42 here.
And this is Davis Aurini.
You know us both from YouTube, where we give our insightful, witty, and often controversial commentary on the news of the day.
Not the least of which is our thoughts on the social justice warriors.
You know who we're talking about.
Anita Sarkeesian,
Jonathan McIntosh,
Zoe Quinn,
Stephanie Guthrie,
Movie Bob Chipman.
and the list goes on. If you're like us, you've probably noticed that the social justice warriors have come to dominate the discussion with regards to their agenda.
They presented their side of the story. But so far, it's the only side of the story that the media will acknowledge.
To hear them tell it, the social justice warriors are on the side of right, and anyone who opposes or questions them is a cyberstalker, a cyberbully, an internet harasser, a troll, and this is the only story that the media is willing to present.
In one fell swoop, the social justice warriors have silenced all dissenting voices and ushered in a new era of political correctness.
Is there really a targeted effort on the part of the white male-dominated gaming culture to exclude women and minorities from participating?
Or is this a ruse perpetuated by a bunch of scam artists and perpetual victims for their own fame and glory and financial benefit?
That is a question that many news outlets, from the New Yorker to the New York Times to Wired Magazine to the Boston Globe to the BBC and many others, have refused to acknowledge or explore.
It is a profound dereliction of journalistic integrity to only let one side of the issue have a voice.
And that is why we are here to announce our new feature film documentary, The Sarkeesian Effect, Inside the World of Social Justice Warriors.
The truth is far darker than you might imagine, but it's out there.
Yes.
As prominent YouTube
X-Files
bloggers,
quote.
inside the world of social justice warriors.
The truth is far darker than you might imagine, but it's out there.
As prominent YouTube bloggers, our coverage of the social justice movement has made us privy to knowledge and information that is not available to the world at large.
What you've seen so far is only 10% of the story. We have information, leads, and sources that need to be followed up on. And this time around, we don't want to get swept under the rug like all the other damning revelations about Miss Sarkeesian and her cohorts.
This ultimate response to the social justice warrior agenda will be a groundbreaking work of investigative journalism.
Not only will we be looking deeper into this story than ever before, we're going to be speaking to people who have had their lives ruined by political correctness.
For the first time, we will be taking our seat at the round table of discussion and giving a voice to the gamers and techies who have been silenced, slandered, and insulted by this one-sided agenda.
And that's where you come in. The silent majority. We need your support to get this film made.
You're probably wondering why we would go to the trouble to make a feature film when YouTube is so readily accessible. Well, remember that Anita Sarkeesian got almost $160,000 to produce her YouTube videos with no discernible improvement in quality.
But Jordan and I, we already make high-quality YouTube videos. With this project, we're taking it to the next level. We're going to be traveling all over the US and Canada. We are going to be doing proper investigative journalism. We're going to create a high-quality product that will go down in the annals of history as a high-quality documentary that, with any luck, changes the world.
Unlike some people, we will account to you for how...
The Sarkeesian effect would change the world. Okay, so one of their detractors a couple years back put together a parody, like, let me find it. Someone put together a, okay, the Sarkeesian effect. Put together a video that like summarized the whole thing and made fun of it, and I stole that and uploaded it. So let me just see where I have it, because it's definitely on here. Where is it? Okay. There's the... Oh, okay, here we go. Here it is. This is the summary a guy made.
I would like to tell you a story. It is a monster story. Once upon a time, in a great land, there was a demon.
This is Aurini. I'm Italian. I'm a white nationalist Holocaust denier.
Just another alcoholic womanizer.
I am, likewise, a science fiction author. Filmmaker.
Nothing to do then, but light a smoke and watch the fireworks go down.
Can we go now?
By the way, Aurini's short film, Less Than the Time of Heartache, is also available on this
Hi,
channel.
I like him. He's such a nice guy.
I served as a corporal in the Canadian Forces and studied history at McMaster University. I am a huge white nationalist on paper.
Although it might offer a bit of knowledge.
If you're looking for some meaningless sex, go to Halifax on vacation.
But there is a war with machines coming. And you gotta decide which side you're on.
Or it might offer a bit of pleasure. This demon, like all, was a parasite.
And thank you for visiting this Patreon page. I am going to ask for your favor, 1 minute of your time.
If you can toss us 5, 10, or 15 bucks. But then something happened.
The belief that women are somehow a naturally weaker gender is a deeply ingrained...
Oh, Anita. The truth is far darker than you might imagine. But it's out there.
You see, the demon, though wise and crafty and genius at manipulation, was not truly clever.
But Jordan and I, we already make high-quality YouTube videos. With this project, we're taking it to the next level. How's it going, folks? We're going to create a high-quality product that will go down in the annals of history as a high-quality documentary that, with any luck, changes the world.
And the Oscar goes to...
We could be interviewed on The Daily Show.
And not as the guest to be ridiculed, but the guest to joke with.
We could be on Fox News. We could be on, Red Eye, Fox Red Eye, or Fox and Friends.
Minor YouTube personality has unrealistic expectations.
I'm Davis Aurini, writer, lecturer, and quite frankly, we disagree on almost every hot button topic that there is. Nonetheless, we're good friends.
I have decided that it is best for me and best for the project that I terminate my working relationship with Davis Aurini.
Now, normally I try and speak very intelligently about things and not be mean.
Go watch Jordan's video on Rooch. It's an hour long and it's very tedious, but you'll see these occasional glimpses of Elliot Rodger.
No, I'm going to blame others for my failings.
Good news, everybody. Aurini Productions is back in business.
Kill whores. Men who like to kill whores in Grand Theft Auto 5 and then take their money.
I find him genuinely disturbing. He is a frightening man.
But then something happened.
Movies cost money. Now, if that's enough for you, there's a link down below to the Fund Anything campaign that we are using for the post-production process.
Do not give any money to the GoFundMe or the Fund Anything campaign that Davis has set up.
Documentaries generally take about 2 years to edit. Nailing this thing down in 6 months, it's because I'm very, very good at what I do and I'm very fast at editing.
Davis is as fast at editing as anybody I know in Hollywood. I know all the keyboard shortcuts. I am very, very quick with editing.
Davis has been wasting time for 6 months now.
Bloody good editing, in fact.
He has missed multiple deadlines.
My dad in particular is actually who I'm thinking about whenever I'm putting all of this together.
He has screwed up our finances royally.
When all he wants to do is achieve material wealth.
So $5,000 for that. $5,000 for private investigator fees. These guys are not cheap.
And Davis, based on that footage, came to the conclusion that Anita had been raped by her father.
He said that I believe that Anita Sarkeesian was molested by her father. That's completely misconstruing what I said.
This film is not going to be harassment. This is not going to be cyberbullying. This is not going to be digging through dirty laundry just to discredit somebody's character.
Davis is a screw-off that is milking this project for all it's worth.
And I've just completely streamlined my life so that I can focus basically full-time on this, as well as writing and doing the YouTube videos, which I regularly do, and the podcasts.
He has fucked up everything to do with this production.
I didn't screw up. I can't screw up.
Agree with us or not, you can respect our integrity.
Despite the budget, it is looking like a proper documentary.
That's as far as the story's got so far.
Okay, we're just gonna we aren't gonna sit through the whole thing because I can't, but we're just gonna take a peek at what they actually produced. Okay. We'll look at the Aurini version. Wait, what? He called his production company Gamma Level Productions?
About her rise from a coalition she's done to video games, the damage she's done.
These people are claiming a referee.
Miller is
And I choose to be.
Okay, here's a clip from the
and they'll be
quality
able to put an
product they
end
made.
to violence, misogyny, and inequality. Anybody who disagrees with them, whether it's women in the gaming industry or sex workers who enjoy their profession, is said to have false consciousness.
So false consciousness is it's a Marxist theory, and basically it says that the people have been dulled and dumbed into submission, the workers, you know, the proletariat, and they think that they're happy, or, you know, they're just not aware. They haven't had their consciousness raised yet. So they're under this false consciousness because they have yet to embrace, you know, the Marxist principles that would essentially save them from that, which is exactly what we see now in feminism. You know, it's...
I love how obvious it is that Jordan Owens in this, that they just cropped it.
I'm a tool of the patriarchy. You know, I'm a sex worker and I choose to be, but no. I really am just a tool of the patriarchy and I have no idea and I've been brainwashed. Yeah. So that's what false consciousness means.
Of course, the social justice movement doesn't restrict their advocacy to just feminism. They've recently coined the term intersectionality to describe their obsession with race, class, sexual orientation, and any other criteria they can use to label people. It's a term that Jason Miller is all too familiar with. Miller is a game developer from Detroit and a prominent member of 2014's consumer revolt known as Gamergate. He started the Twitter hashtag #NotYourShield as a protest against this intersectionality. He argues that people can speak for themselves.
There's this thing called Gamergate, and it was about ethics in games journalism. Some people were trying...
Yes, he said it! He said ethics in games journalism.
He argues that people can speak for themselves.
There's this thing called Gamergate, and it was about ethics in games journalism. Some people were trying to steer the topic towards identity politics. And I created a hashtag for people that were actually concerned about games journalism called #NotYourShield. And that's for all the minorities, women, people of all different backgrounds that these people are claiming to represent, to kind of say, hey, we actually do care about the ethics in games journalism thing here. Let's talk about that a bit. That's what #NotYourShield is really all about. It's about all these people speaking for themselves. Like sometimes from the social justice work community, I've gotten questions like, well, so-and-so happened, this person disagreed with this person about trans policy or whatever. Why didn't you step in? And I say, well, because I allow everybody to speak for themselves. I have that belief that every human being can speak for themselves and their experiences. I cannot speak for a trans person better than a trans person can speak for themselves.
I interacted with feminists that they couldn't understand. They literally could not put it together how a PhD candidate could be a prostitute, could be a wife, could be an intelligent woman, you know, and could own a dog and a...
Yep, you heard that. She's married. I guess this was before...
an apartment and have a normal life, you know, because I wasn't sitting on the street with a needle hanging out of my arm.
And to me, that's ridiculous. I read the best.
Okay, let's jump back.
There's a lot of this stuff going on in that.
Okay, do you guys want to watch like the only good scene in the movie? So let me know if... Oh, okay, here we go. The funniest part of this is literally like everyone who would go on to be a lolcow.
Well, yeah, they're saying it's yellow journalism. It's like we're going to sacrifice long-term credibility, loyalty, and true journalism, like reporting the facts, for sensationalism, for ratings now, for the short-term American attention span to get the ratings, get the money, get the proceeds and the advertising. At all, you know, there's hating alone the
firsthand when he discovered Alex Mendosian and Bart Baggett, both of whom have ties to pickup artistry.
Hi, my name is Mom.
Include and exclude to maintain value but not give away.
How to flirt successfully with this? These are odd. We must listen and believe.
You can do is to actually believe women when they tell you.
When Alex brought this to Wikipedia's attention,
well, I had become aware online, and I made an edit there.
To whatever deluge of article incidents.
Or thinking differently.
Oh yeah, there's Jim Code.
And
quality and I understand if a woman.
And by these criteria.
Speech until These people think they're
Jim Goad was in this.
The
The Honey
coverage.
Badgers were in this. Aaron Clary was in this. Okay, we're going to watch the only good scene in the movie. Okay, so they interviewed Jack Thompson. I don't know if anyone remembers Jack Thompson.
He was the supposed enemy of the gaming industry, against which all gamers were united. We spoke to him to find out what his stance actually was, and to find out what he thought about Anita Sarkeesian.
Well, let me say that if I were the Jack Thompson described at Wikipedia or certain gaming sites, I probably would have killed myself a long time ago, which might have been construed to be urban renewal. But what I did as an attorney when I was still an attorney was to forge a civil litigative remedy for this problem that we're talking about, and that is the sale of adult or mature rated entertainment products to kids.
Sure.
The question is, am I in favor of censorship? Do I want to limit the First Amendment? No, I do not. The bright red line for me has always been that adult entertainment should be available to adults under the First Amendment. They can get it. But because young brains are literally different structurally and functionally than adult brains, there is a neurobiological basis for my concern. So when it comes to the satire that's evident in Grand Theft Auto, 13-year-olds don't really get satire. They get the violence.
So that brings us wonderfully into the primary crux of the documentary, which is going to be the recent controversy surrounding Anita Sarkeesian.
Well, based on what I've seen that she's done, she's very free with her opinions and doesn't seem to have a lot of evidence. She's got feelings about this. I mean, the death threats, frankly, I've seen her using as sort of a self-promotion thing, which kind of bugs me. She's kind of a hypocrite in that she's a feminist, but she's claiming, I think you can see in some of her emphases that she should be treated a little special.
Yeah.
So you got to make up your mind.
What sets Anita Sarkeesian?
Yeah, so that was like the only good scene in the movie was when they interviewed Jack Thompson. I think there was a longer interview, but yeah, so that's what they produced with the money. Oh yeah, Paul Elam was in this. I forgot.
Against the feminist narrative. We think that feminists got it wrong.
Founder of Voice for Men. Yeah.
In many ways.
They even get fired in the first place. Internet harassment can be big business if you're the right sort of person. If you oppose the social justice movement, however...
There's not some cathedral of misogyny or racism that kept me from making games and participating in gaming culture. It's these social justice warriors when I just said, hey, let's take a minute and actually talk about the issue here, they took every swing in the world they could at me. There's a laundry list.
Look at the way Aurini dresses. Okay, so that is kind of the story of the Sarkeesian effect. That is Aurini's opinion, and that's what the final finished product was. Jordan Owen's version is like an hour and a bit longer than this, which, given that about 5 minutes this makes me want to kill myself. I think that, yeah, so... no, there was one other, McAfee was also in this, I think, and he was actually pretty, or was he from Stardock? Let me see, who was the guy they interviewed? Maybe he was from Stardock. They interviewed a porn star, that was part of it, I mean, that's cool. I'm trying to find where he is. I think he was the CEO of Stardock who they interviewed. I could be wrong, though. But anyways, I think that's gone on long enough. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. I I hope that was like a lesson of warning. This is how you do not deal with the internet. This is how you do not deal with interpersonal relationships. And this is how you do not live. So, I'm Argent. Rain, do you want to say something? Could I get a meow? No, she's not going to give a meow. She's just going to bite me. So, I'll talk to you guys later. God bless.